modern JavaScript techniques to this.
Hey, hi, sorry, I was kind of occupied with some other work. Let me share my screen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Okay, now today we are going to talk about we did a small kind of code on Selenium, right? We saw how we wrote a very small piece of code. Today maybe we will be talking about again, since this is I have not taken the core Java classes for you guys, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with core Java concept. I'm not going to rush for the detailed, in-depth topic because it will not make sense. What I'm going to talk about is the entire end-to-end ecosystem in the software industry, how things work, what happens, and I will show you kind of a demo for that. Now, there is a feature in the application which is being developed by a developer, and QA is doing the testing, right? Now, yesterday we kind of saw that there was one login page feature which we were testing, and we wrote a automated script for that, right, to do the login part. Now, today what we are going to do, let's say we are going to now. I already told you about the environments, right? The dev environment, QA, pre-prod, and prod. Now, dev environment code flows via pipeline from QA environment to pre-prod, from pre-prod to prod. This is how a code flows. Now, what we are going to do here in on every stage, these are stages. What is this called? Dev QA pre-prod. These are called stages. Now, on every stages, we do some certain operations, right? Now, what we do, let's say on the dev environment, developer push the code, it reaches to a QA environment. Here we are doing some kind of testing. Here also we are doing some kind of testing. And then it is reaching to the production. Now what we are doing, we are going to run our automation at this particular stage. Now I cannot create this Devo QA pre-prod and prod different environments for you, But what I can show you how we create a job. So what we run over here is called a job. We create job in pipeline. So we are going to run a job, and how we can create that job in a pipeline is something which I am going to explain you today. But before that, we will talk about a bit on the pipeline. What is a pipeline? What is the concept of a pipeline? Let me talk about bit over there. But before that, let me talk about a very important concept called as GitHub and Git. I guess everybody, most of you have explored this GitHub and Git. Some of you would have not explored it. For the people who have not yet explored what is GitHub, what is Git, let me explain you all. How many of you know what is GitHub? Or how many of you don't know what is Git and GitHub? Those who don't know, just write DN. I will understand. Who all know the concept of, okay, Karthik don't know. What about, okay, I see. Okay, let me explain. Now, developer is writing, I'm going to explain in a very layman language. Developer is writing a code on his local laptop, on his local machine, right? Developer is writing a code over here. Or let's say I am the QA engineer and I am writing my framework automation in my local machine. Currently, what we are doing, right? Now, what if you also want to have the same code? Or what if I have to share the same code to all the people? I have to copy paste the folder and I can give it to you all. Right? Very easy, very simple. But understand, now this that was one class which I added. Now there are, all of you are going to work on some different things. You all are going to create a different class for your own. Now everybody should have everyone's code. Understand how complex it is. Now I will take your code, his code, this code. I will merge. Understand how complex it is to manage the code. Very difficult, right? To solve this problem, GitHub came into picture. It said, okay, I am a cloud repository. Whatever code you write, store it over here. And any person who wants to take can take it from here. Now, let's say this person wrote something and pushed a new version. It was V2. I want to consume, I can pull the code from here and I can take the V2 changes. Similarly, if there are 1,000, 10,000 or lakh people, they can take the code and exchange the code via GitHub. And how they can do that? Using Git command. Right? This is the layman, in the layman language I've explained. Again, what are branches, how we create, why we create. I don't want to go that in depth in the bootcamp, but giving you a gist of what GitHub is and what Git do. A collaborator tool for developer to work together and also to keep versions at control. Yeah, correct. Now let's say I am writing a piece of code and which is going and breaking something in the production. If there is offline exchange, how difficult will it will be to understand who did what, whose changes broke the code. So what we do in this case, we actually go ahead, and ensure that we are following the GitHub, and it is going to do the version control. You know, so now yesterday I wrote a very small piece of code. I created one class. Now, if you want to use GitHub, what is the very first thing you need Git on your machine. So you can install Git on your machine so that Git commands are accessible. But before that, now this is the new project. This is a very new project. I want to push it into my GitHub repository. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the github.com. Let me sign in. Now, I'm going to create on new. Let me create a repository name. Let me say GFG Bootcamp, something like this. Now, there are two type of repository I can create, either a public or a private. Public means it can be accessed by anyone, which means if I share the URL with you, you all can clone this code, but you all cannot contribute to this code. Why? Because you do not have the collaborator access. You can only read, you can use it in your local machine. But if you want to make changes, let's say, so what do I mean by this? Let me explain. Now, public means what? It is open to all, which means, let's say GFG bootcamp. This was the repository I created. I pushed my project over here. Now, my project is over here. Now, you came and you pulled the code and you made some changes in the code. Now you are trying to push it into the same repository, which is this. You are not allowed to do so. Why? Because you are not a collaborator. It is restricted. Now, what is a private repository? You cannot even access the code without credentials. It is it is basically password protected. Right? Now, let me make it a public and let me say create repository. No, I'm really sorry, Khushi. I cannot. I just completed a couple of things. So would request you to go back to the recordings today. I just give a gist of what is a Git, what is GitHub, what is Git. So basically, it is a storage platform, code storage platform where we store our code, and from there people and it helps us managing the different versions of the code. I was talking about that. So you can just go through the video and you will. And anyways, if you find any confusion or doubt, you can ask. Now, or else I will just repeat it in a quick. Just give me 1 minute.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Sorry? Yeah, I have unmuted. Basically, Karthik, that is the merge conflict that occurs and that can be resolved either manually or you can take his changes or you can create a separate branch in that case. Like, or maybe if in the same branch you are trying to pull the changes, you have to resolve the merge conflict. Like that is the in-depth when we are talking about Git and GitHub topic, we are going to, talk about those area. Okay. Now, I have created a repository. Very first thing, why I have created the repository, because this is the first time I am pushing my code into the new repository. This project is specific to your boot camp, right? So I created a new repository for it. Now I have to install Git on my machine, which is already there. Now what I am going to do, I am going to first navigate to the folder where my project is there. Let me copy the path. Copy. Okay. Now let me go here. Let me paste. Now I am inside my project infrastructure. And now when I run the command git status, it says not a Git repository. Now to make it a Git repository, I have to run this command git init. Now I will copy paste this command and I will run this. Now when I run git status, it gives me all the folders that are there present inside this particular, all the files present inside this particular folder. Now, what is the second command that I need to run? This I can ignore. Okay, now the second is git add. Now that is a sample file name which is given, but here what I will do, since I need to add all these files, I will say git add dot enter. Now if I run git status, changes are ready to get added, but they are not yet committed. Now I'm doing this git commit m, my first commit. Okay, changes are committed. Now I'm creating a name of my present branch. The name of the branch is main. And then I'm copy pasting this command. And finally, this git push is going to push my entire code into the repository. Code has been pushed. Let me go back, refresh my screen. See, first commit. Now over here, if let's say somebody else come and commit, if I give you a collaborator access, which I will not, because there are 100 and more than 100 students, it is difficult for me to add all of you. So let's say where there are like first commit is like I gave a collaborator access to some of you and you commit something on your code and try to push it, your commit will be seen over here. Now let me go over here and make some changes in the file, or let's say I added a full stop. That's it. Now, if I go and I say git status will tell me what is the now. It says this is the file which has been modified. Now, what is the difference? I want to see what is the difference that has been that is going to be over there. So earlier this was maximize the browser. Now it is maximize the browser and then a full stop. Now, do I want to add this change? Yes, I want to add this change. So I will say git add and again I will enter the file name. Why? Because there was only one file. So let's say when the real time when I'm working, I made some 10 changes in my 10 of the file. But while pushing the code, I realized, okay, these 3 changes were for my local purpose. I will go back and I will remove them. So git diff is a very important command when we do it in the real time. Now, again, once the git add has been done, we go here and say git commit -m second commit. Commit has been done. Now I will simply run a command git push. Why? Because I am on the same branch. Now, if I go back and if I refresh this, second commit has been added over here, right? See, this was the change. So this is how using the Git, I am actually pushing my code. And now if I want to share this code with you, what I can do, I can copy this URL and paste it over here. And what command you have to run? Git clone. And you have to just paste this command. But make sure you have Git installed in your machine. You won't be able to push any changes into this particular repository because you are not a collaborator. If you want to add someone as a collaborator, you have to go to the settings and then you have to go to collaborators. And here you can add people. You can invite people, and once they accept it, they are going to be the collaborator. Right. So this is the overall how Git and GitHub works. And this is a very, very important topic, especially for the people who are freshers. Because nowadays, when you are coming inside, I will train you on my project. I'm not going to train you on the technology. None of the product company does that. They expect that you will learn on your own. So what is the mindset? We have to make sure that once we are learning, right? So for fresher, few more things. Yesterday, somebody asked me how I can crack an internship, right? You can crack an internship, but it depends what you are expecting in an internship. Now, over freshers present over here, I want to ask you all, in an internship, what is your expectation? Learning, money, or learning and money both, right? Or only certificate, whatever it is, just I want to get a response from everyone. Learning both. I will come back. The people who are saying both, I will come back to them. Who are asking for both money and learning. I will be coming back to you. But yeah, before that, I wanted to see how many of you what is the real time project? Okay, learning, which means okay, both learning. What about others? Now, if you are planning for a learning, if you get an opportunity to work in the real time problem statement, how many of you are interested? Interested as in ready to give your, you know, sweat over there. You are ready to give your blood and sweat because I have something. Now, what kind of learning you want? You only want to learn in the field of technology, or you are flexible to learn anything which can help you achieve something in your life. That also depends. So, how many of you are here like that? Okay. Okay. People who are really interested, do DM me today on LinkedIn. Do DM me on LinkedIn today. People who are really interested for a learning curve and they want a certificate. I am happy to help with the certificate. Not for Amazon, not from Amazon, but I have my friends who owns a startup and they can help you with some work from home stuff you can do. And learning for sure would be there, and certificate you would be getting, but no money, right? Why no money? Because we have had thousands of requests. Again, if hundreds of you are pinging me, it's not necessary that 100 of you will be getting the opportunity depends. I can even evaluate how many of you are actually is of that mindset to do something, right? I cannot promise technology, but I can surely promise one thing, that your learning is not going to go away. Now, when we talk about learning, we have to understand one thing. Whenever you are pitching, you're an intern, right? Whenever you are reaching out to somebody, so how you reach out to a company now? Don't go for a top-notch directors or VP and bug them. Instead, try pinging senior SDEs, senior QAEs, maybe SDMs, maybe QAMs, and ask them that, okay, hey, this is the real-time project I did, and I have a knowledge on these technology. For example, how end-to-end cycle work. Okay, how things get deployed in the pipeline. Okay, how we create a job in the pipeline. Okay, how I know the concept of Git and GitHub. These are very basic tools that we use on a day-to-day basis. These are not even technology, these are tools. So how confident you are, to learn that, right? How confident you are to learn that. Now you have to make sure that you are actually pitching yourself in a way that, okay, I solved this real time problem, and this was the impact out of it. Talk about the impact. They are not interested in your hospital management website that you created in your college. No, what kind of business you brought with respect to that technology. And that is the game changer. That will eye catch the attention of the people, and they might pitch you for internship in the company, or they might end up referring you, right? Trust me, guys, when I started as a, I want to say, I started as a junior engineer, and that too with like barely, I think, in my internship I have not got anything. In fact, I paid for my internship, because from the professor I was getting that internship, it was the top notch professor from IIT Roorkee, and he trained me. And for that training, I paid him at that time in 2016, I think around 60,000 or 65,000 rupees. So trust me, your input is not going to get waste. Getting my point? Okay. Now, any questions, any doubt anyone is having? Any question, any doubt? DevOps fresher market. There is no DevOps fresher market. Fresher can get anything. There is no such market, brother. A fresher can get anything. Acha, how many of you present over here? What you want to become? Yeah, you can get a job in a product-based company with the testing skills. Freshers do come directly as an L4 also at a package of 16, 18 lakhs. Data scientist is very impossible. Fresher can never get a data scientist job. They will get a data analyst job. They will not become a data scientist. Yeah, SDEs are possible. Okay, what all only manual testing is enough? No, manual testing is not enough. We need automation, we need AI, cyber security. Okay, what else? There is no junior data scientist. There is data analyst is a designation from where you start. With data scientist is a very senior position. There is no such job as a junior data scientist. Yeah, AI engineer, you can become an AI engineer. End of the day, I hope everybody who is present over here wants to make money in their life, right? Think from that perspective. And if today you are getting paid, let's say 50,000 for some work, don't rush if that does not excites you. But if there is something which is currently giving you 10,000 rupees a month or 5,000 rupees a month, but learning that a skill, be it a photography, it is going to take you to a, you know, it excites you, go ahead and explore that domain, because that is how you are going to do different in your life, and you are going in the long term, you are going to be happy. Otherwise, definitely for sure, you are going to, you are going to be confused and keep exploring till the age of 30, 31. I have seen people who are coming after 10 years and still they are not satisfied with what they are doing. Getting my point? So we have to make sure that we are putting such kind of efforts. Any questions, any doubt anyone wants to ask before I proceed ahead? Sir, as you said to tag lower level roles in terms of project, showcase, etc. But the problem is that the people also doesn't respond to have low chances. I didn't get Ronak. Can you elaborate it? I didn't get your ask. I am aspired to become a developer, but became as a tester. I want to join in one of the FANG companies with testing skill. I have manual testing skill and basic of automation testing. Can I do that? What will no, I don't think Karthik that will be enough to enter FANG. You need to have end-to-end knowledge on the technology, how technology works. If I talk about pipeline, you are aware what is a pipeline. If I'm talking about Git and GitHub, you are aware about it, what it is doing. So you have to make sure that you are up to date. And that is not an impossible. I think you should enroll for a testing. If you are already into manual testing, enroll for a testing course in GFG. I think it is going to create a good impact for you. Sir, as you said to tag, okay, I really need, once I tried, but get no response. So trying just once is not going to help, right? You have to keep trying. Which domain is rising in case of salary? Also, which skill is really not known in the market but will gain influence in the future and might. I will be very honest. I won't say testing. I won't say development. Rather, I would say anything where AI is involved is going to be a boom. A developer who is actually developing the models, the AI models, is going to be a successful developer in the future. Cybersecurity engineer, right? Data science in testing domain. If you can train and if you can test the AI, you can be a successful SDET for an AI. So domains again are not going to be replaced. How to learn beginner for testing? There, that's what I'm saying. If you really want to learn testing end to end, join this curriculum. And if you are not joining this curriculum, come back after 6 months. Explore from somewhere else and come back. Because we teach in a way from 0 to 100. We cover everyone, be it a fresher, be it a experienced person, and we don't build rocket. We are not building rocket science. We are not teaching rocket science. I think I already pasted yesterday. Uh, Sir, I am a fresher. Want to know what should I do to become a software? Uh, Very simple. Kushi, it's very simple. It start DSA from today. Once you learn any technology, be it a web application development or a mobile application development, create a application for your for a real time solve a real time problem statement, and you will be definitely successful. Okay. How do you switch from HFN? Could you share experience? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Sir, what is the right approach to solve a DSA question? Solve lead. Okay, I will tell that also. There is an which is okay now. For answering the first question of HFN to this, I got laid off, and then I moved as a uh, in operations in Amazon, and internally I moved as a QA engineer. But again, the path is not that easy, just to let you know. And coming back to the next DSA part, see, DSA is something if you're not able to understand and if you're not able to solve, pick up one problem. Let's say you learn about linked list, pick up the problem of a linked list, start solving. If you're not able to solve, get a solution and debug it and do it every day. Eventually, you will start solving problem. Okay. Bro, I was hired in operations. Their skills are not required. Yeah, DSA and web tech can be done together. Of course, it can be done together. No, Java and C++, I don't think it is necessary for data analysis. Python is required. Okay. Now let me talk about a bit on the pipeline. Now, what is a pipeline? Pipeline is where a code flows. We are going to create a job in a pipeline. Now, I do not have a pipeline right away to show you, but I can create a job on the pipeline. Now, how to do a setup of a Jenkins is something we are going to explain in detail when in our sessions where you will be enrolling. By the way, I just wanted to understand how many of you are interested to get yourself enrolled in the coming session of this. I think yesterday uh, I pasted the link also. So how many of you are interested to get yourself enrolled? I will tell you two things. I saw yesterday they have reduced the price to like next level. It's quite cheap. And I think it is good even if somebody is willing to go into a development. Here they are going to learn the entire ecosystem. And then when you are learning development parallelly, I think it is going to give you an upper edge. So just curious to know how many of you here are interested to join the course after the boot camp. People can respond on the message itself. No one wants to join. I don't know. Yesterday, they sent me the link. It was hardly 4-5 thousand. I don't know, something like that. Uh, SDET course. Let me tell you. Uh, okay, I don't think everyone can join. Okay, so only 8 seats are left on a discounted price that is of in 4,000 rupees, and you get a certification as well. And the course is of 10,000 rupees. So I think it's hardly 8 seat. For rest of you, I think it is 10,000. Okay, let's get started. Now I'm going to create a job in a pipeline. Okay. I will be creating a new item. Let me say bootcamp job. Freestyle project. Okay. Now I will just give a description. Um, Demo to create a job. No, I'm not adding a Git project. I am simply keeping it very simple. And I'm going to say, let's say I wanted to run this command. This was my job. So every time the build gets triggered in a QA pipeline, this, this command will get triggered. So I will save. And now when I click on build now, this build now which I'm clicking, it will be automatically triggered. And when I click on this, see the Java version has got executed and I can see the Java version. Now what exactly happened? I created a job now. we execute our code in the real time via command line argument. Since you guys are not aware of how things work, and you don't know how we create a project, how we trigger it via testing.xml file, how we trigger it via Maven. When you have learned all this, I'm just going to trigger my automation using a command line argument, and this current machine is the server. Similarly, in the real time, the machine will be kept somewhere else, and using some URL, you are going to access that machine, and then you are going to create a job on that particular machine, and you are going to run that. I'm running on Jenkins, Tombu. So one more thing, you don't have to restrict yourself. Okay, that's great. So you don't have to restrict yourself to any technology. I know Selenium. I cannot work on APM. Definitely, you can work on APM if you know the entire ecosystem. I know Jenkins. Can I work on any different kind of pipeline tool? Definitely, you can work because the core concept is going to remain the same, right? It's the same thing. I know one language. Can I work on any language? Yes, definitely, you can work on it on any language. So you have to make sure that you understand the technology very well, right? Any confusion, any doubt anyone is having, I'm not going in depth of a lot of things because it needs time to explain Jenkins. I first need to cover the entire Maven architecture with you, and then I can jump onto the real time automation execution. But I can show you some sample frameworks that we have created in the past. If you see over here, some page object model concept, right? Let me show you how in the real time I'm not going to use any kind of public static void main. I'm using certain annotation. Now what is this, how we do, how we create a framework, what are the things that we are going to do, all that is covered over here. And by the end of the session, you will be developing your very own framework end to end, which is used in the real time. You are going to trigger your automation via pipeline on your machine. So we do a lot of crazy hands-on real time things, right? I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to go much deep into any of these now. I'm open for Q&As, and we will ramp up this call. No. It is not related to JDBC connectivity. Don't worry. It has nothing to do with the JDBC connectivity. Okay. No questions, no doubt. Cool. Thank you so much all for joining my session for 3 days. I'm sorry, we have to keep a bit late. I'm happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. Feel free to ping me over there, and do enroll not just the SDET course, guys. Learn a technology, be it a full stack development, be it a data science, be it testing, learn one technology thoroughly, and it is going to land you up in a good job. In an interview, if you're just going with your coding skills, nobody is going to entertain you, right? And people who are not too good with the coding join the testing course because that is going to give you a lot of confidence and that is going to help you clear the interview. I told sir internship tips, not interview tips. You guys can message me directly even if I don't accept your I think request. You guys can still go ahead and ping me on LinkedIn. I actually have more than, let me see, I have more than 2200 requests currently. Usually accept all. Okay. I didn't get what you mean by processing. Cool all. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great evening ahead. Bye. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And guys, this was just a boot camp. We talked everything on a very high level. And definitely we are going to talk a lot in depth as well.